All right, let's get straight into it. And by straight into it, I mean, let me get everything set up. Pretty sure we're good to go. For the people over at YouTube and Kick that can see the video elements, just know I added a QR code. So if you want to scan that, it will send you directly to my Linktree with all my social medias and the links to my platforms that my podcast is on. So scan the QR code and you get the link to everything. So hopefully that's stated correctly. Pretty sure it is. At the end of the day, I do try my best. You know what I'm saying? All in a day's work. Anyways, let me turn the beat down, right? All right. Also, shout out to the people who's been listening to the podcast. I want to say this at the beginning because I have gotten a good amount of messages, like 2 or 3, but still, I like the people who come and they're like, or they DM me and they're like, hey, I've been listening to the podcast on YouTube. How come you don't tell nobody that it's on YouTube? I'm like, that's crazy because I say it all the time, but I don't know, I guess not. But so yeah, shout out to y'all who watches the actual live stream. You can see me struggle in live time, no edits, you know what I mean, just straight opinions, unfiltered. No, I'm just playing. I don't be saying anything crazy. But I remember what I was getting into. So basically, thank you for supporting the podcast. Of course, we're over like 35,000 downloads per episode right now. So let's just say, a pretty nice supporting system. Let's just say that. So yeah, anyways, that's not what y'all here for. Y'all here for the latest hip hop tracks, and pop. We're gonna get into some pop because we have to. Because I ain't gonna lie to you, Bad Bunny and also Post Malone, now that man came one of the biggest statistical flex I've ever seen in my life, and that's insane. So we definitely gotta get into that. Obviously in the title, you see we're gonna be getting into Youngboy, of course, and the album he just dropped with 50 million songs. I don't know who's listening to that. Also, we're gonna end with my boy Post and him basically just flexing on the whole industry. I mean, imagine having so many diamond tracks that you put it into a whole entire album. It's crazy. So yeah, just give me 1 second while I pull this up. All right, who do we want to start with? I kind of want to save AI to last. That's kind of like or should I start with AI? I may start with AI. Let me see. I may start with AI. Yeah, let's start with AI. Let's do that. Okay. There's a Beyonce one. Let me make sure this doesn't play. Yeah, I am not trying to get no DMCA strike. Make sure. All right, make sure that's up. And then so we're gonna start with Drake. We're gonna start with Rihanna, of course. And then we're gonna get into Kanye because, not gonna lie to you, AI has been outperforming the actual artists that live on this earth. So yeah, technology has advanced to a very scary state, and it's to the point where I've been watching, what's it called, the iRobot movie, just religiously trying to figure out what I need to do when they eventually take over. SMH. Okay. I'm into XXX, and then we have, I think we have a Kanye one. So give me 1 second. I'm pretty sure y'all can hear me, but if it's the beat's too loud or whatever, because of course I'm gonna turn it off when I start. But just let me know in the comment section. There was one more I was wanting to pull up. I wonder if it's down here. Oh, here it is. Okay. Yeah, it's basically Kanye covering Bruno Mars's When I Was Your Man, which technically is a classic, but you know, I guess not when you put Kanye over it. That man takes it to a whole nother level. Anyways, all right, let's get into AI. All right, let me stop right here. Okay. So first off, I want to start by saying I appreciate the people who came through over at Wisdom and all my different streaming platforms to take time out of your morning to listen to me cover the latest tracks that just dropped. I can't tell you how much I appreciate it, but just know I do. And hopefully you enjoy me going through a plethora of songs that just dropped. So let me tell you, listening to this entire thing, you will be well informed on what dropped, and usually that's how this goes. So yeah, we're gonna start with Drake and The Weeknd, because I mean, who's bigger? Like, come on now. Well, pause. No, that's, hey yo, now that I think about it, now that was crazy. I'm wilding. My fault. I'm gonna try not to say that again. But anyways, let's get into Drake and also, I forgot to say, so if you're new, just know when I get into these topics, I prefer if you join on Wisdom, which, you know, you can join as a guest. I would prefer whatever you have to say to be on topic. And if not, if you can wait in the in-between breaks, if it's not on topic. But if it is on topic, of course, feel free to join. This is an open space. No, this is a safe space, open dialogue. And I love having different perspectives. So anyways, let's get straight into it. And by straight into it, I mean I have to pull this up right quick, because I forget. For the people over at YouTube, I have to make sure y'all have the little article to look at. You know, just something a little nice, you know, something nice to look at. Okay, we may have to just duplicate that. And of course, we're not playing the track. No, I'm definitely not doing that. If y'all don't know about Universal Music Group, they're taking down anything and everything. So this is going to be completely me, no track, none of that. So yeah, y'all don't have to worry about that. It's not going to happen. Let me see. How does this look? This is humongous. Give me 1 second. Okay, can we make this smaller? Oh, cool. Let's do that. All right. Alrighty, let's get into the track now. The amount of times I've seen an AI track pop up on my timeline has been exponentially more. All right, we starting over. That was not good. I don't even know how to use that word. Can I spell that? Let me see. A-E-X. Oh, that's all I got. I ain't gonna cap. That's all I got. All right. Hold on. Let me run this back. Exponentially larger. Is that how you say it? I think so. Exponentially larger. Exponentially more. Exponentially. No, I'm just playing. All right, my fault. My fault. You know, I'm trying my best. All right, let's try this again. Let's run this back. All right, let's run this back. How many times? Oh, actually, that's what I was gonna start off with. I was gonna start with the lyrics, because you know when you're covering the boy Drake, you got to be respectful. So we got to be respectful. Like, come on now. So let me get into it. What's the chorus at? Oh, here we go. Yeah, this is how I wanted to start. I remember now. Okay. Now we're, third time's a charm. Appreciate the people who's tuning in over at Wisdom. Just know we're getting into the latest tracks that literally just dropped. But I'm warming up with a little bit of AI covers, aka tracks. So let's get into it now. Talking to a diva. Yeah, she on my nerves. She think that I need her, kick her to the curb. All I know is you could have had the world. Mm-mm-mm. Ladies and gentlemen, AI has officially came and taken over the music industry to the point where the big bad wolf, which is Universal Music Group, aka UMG, has stepped up to take down and take out any creator that's trying to promote and profit. Keyword is probably profit, but also promote their own lyrics and just ghost writing ability by having the world's most famous artists cover them. Now, we've reached an interesting point in the music industry where copyright material is getting very it's getting harder to understand what's copywritten and what's not. Because if somebody writes an entire track and uses a beat that they created, but then has some of the most popular artists known to man voices on the track, is it in the lane of plagiarism, or is it more in the lane of creativity? Because I could argue if you make an entire beat from scratch, put some of the biggest names on the track as far as the voices, because what I'm basically getting into is technology has advanced to the point where the vocal inflection, not only the voice, but the vocal inflection is easy to mimic, so that you're thinking that Drake and The Weeknd actually put out a track titled Heart on My Sleeve. Now, we've never seen this before. And it's kind of scary because, of course, we had the AI generated rapper come out, but that was using his own voice, basically using his own beats, coming out, rapping lyrics that you hear from your favorite musicians, which is how they constructed the track, which is why that AI artist blew up. And the reason why he's not here today is because he was saying the N word, and turns out it was a white person creating it. Now, don't you hate when that happens? So, anyways, getting back into reality, or lack of, AI technology has advanced to the point where your fans and talented creators can give you the music that you've been wanting forever. Name me the last Drake and The Weeknd track that you've heard in the past 10 days. Not even 10 days, the past 3 years. You probably can't name one, and there's a reason for that. The Weeknd and Drake, I'm not saying there's beef, but all I know is Drake and The Weeknd used to have the best of relationships, especially when Drake was making Take Care. But now, for some reason, they are just allergic to making a track with each other. So now that AI has advanced to the point where fans can create it themselves, the respective labels that these artists are under are coming out for blood and are taking down any and every impersonation of their artist that they have signed under contract. Because think about it. If Drake and The Weeknd really wanted to put out a track, what's stopping them from giving the lyrics to a random somebody, having them use the AI technology, put it out under the constructs of the money that he makes, they're going to give to Drake and The Weeknd. Now, I know some people may think that Drake and The Weeknd's going out taking down these AI covers, but when you put it in perspective, the person who makes the most money off of these artists is the major labels, which is Universal Music Group. I keep saying their name because if you're a student of hip hop or just music in general, just know that everything stops and goes with Universal Music Group. Any of your favorite artists, not even favorite, the top selling artists in the game are under Universal Music Group. You have Drake, you have Kanye, what else you have? I think you have Justin Bieber. They have some other one. I think they have Michael Jackson. Anyways, Universal Music Group has like a lot of these. You'll have to look up the artists, but basically, Universal Music Group, they run music to the point where if people really boycott it, just band it together and boycotted Universal Music Group, it'll be a lot of artists that we could not listen to. It would be a very boring platform if they were to take their artists and leave Spotify, Apple Music, and that's what they threaten Spotify and Apple Music with every time they put up one of these cover tracks. Now that's why, if you stay to the end of the segment, I'm going to put the link in the bottom of the description, but just know it will most likely get taken down. And this is not me. I didn't make the link. This is just a link to hear the song. And I would suggest, if the link is still working, to actually screen record it and then, have it for yourself, because it will most likely get taken down. That's why I'm not playing the track at all, because I don't want them coming after me. That's the last thing I need, because I already put up my Notorious Mass Effect versus Universal Music Group as a real thing. They really come after artists and just creators for no, I'm not going to say no reason, because some of these people do be breaking the law. But at this point, with the evolution in technology, what is creativity and what is straight plagiarism? I believe if somebody came under the name of The Weeknd and just had a random name, but you kind of knew it was inspired by The Weeknd, but he sounded a little bit similar to The Weeknd, but he just didn't. Okay, that's confusing. Basically, a lot of these artists already sound like one another, and that's like a fact. So if somebody who was a creator was using technology to have a voice replicating The Weeknd's, but just tweaked it to the point where he can call himself a whole new artist, what's stopping him from doing that and making a profit from it? And that, ladies and gentlemen, is why Universal Music Group is very aggressively going after these creators and taking it down. Because if that happens, let me tell you, y'all thought, what was the number, like 500,000 or a million jobs was going to be taken by this AI, this evolution in AI technology? Your favorite musicians may be out of a job if this happens, because what's the need for a real human when you can just get an AI, when you can just use AI software to mimic them? So anyways, click my link tree in my bio. Let me know on one of my social medias. What do you think about The Weeknd and Drake track titled Heart on My Sleeve? And also, do you think that somebody creating this under AI is plagiarism? Or do you think it's under the guidance or just under the protection of fair use? All right. All right, let me look at this. Okay. Let's get into Rihanna. Rihanna, tomato, but we're about to get into her. Let's see. By the way, did y'all see that Nicki and Ice Spice video? Not gonna lie, top 10, man. Top 10. But anyways, that's besides the point. I was just letting y'all know. Like, when Ice Spice was twerking on beat, oh, let me stop. My fault. My fault. That's my fault. I'm gonna tighten up. All right, where is this? I had this UMG article. Oh, here we go. Streaming platforms to ban technology. Cool. I think this is the one I wanted. Was that another one? No, I think this is the one. Okay, cool. All right. Let's get into Rihanna, aka Rihanna. Universal Music Group has responded to the viral AI generated songs by calling it fraud, quote unquote fraud, and telling streaming platforms to ban the technology. Now, we've came into a crossroad where Universal Music Group has seen the dollars that are being made and distributed by these creators because of them being able to mimic and replicate the not only the voice of your favorite artist but the vocal inflection. That's a very key part of this advancement. Used to we used to have the technology to put words together. Like maybe you said a certain sentence and it had you said another sentence that said like a cuss word, and then you had a sentence that said maybe Donald Trump. And then you can put that together to say the and then expletive Donald Trump. You know what I mean? Like that's a crazy example, but that's the only one I could think of. Now it's to the point where your speech patterns and your vocal inflection is also being mimicked to the point where people can't tell real from fake. And that gets in the lanes of very scary territory because somebody out there somewhere who's a talented songwriter could literally make a whole entire album mimicking your favorite artist using the AI technology. And I think the way to get around this, I think the loophole is to use a completely different name. Because of course you can't copyright a voice, all right? But you can copyright somebody clearly profiting off of a name and his likeness. So if you put up a album that sounds like Drake but is listed as somebody else, then I think that that's the loophole that a lot of these creators are going to start to implement, because right now they're just blatantly ripping off these artists. And I say ripping off because if the foundation is Rihanna, which we're about to get into, then I believe that it should be copyright and being able to the proceeds to be able to go to Rihanna, not the creator. And I know that may seem crazy for all the content creators out there. I know y'all probably saying I'm not pro creator, but let me just say this. If you're going to use the voice of an artist, at least change the name. Don't come out and basically the track I'm specifically referring to is Rihanna AI Cuff It, which is a Beyonce cover. And obviously that's getting a lot of clicks right now. It's getting taken down and put it back up for obvious reasons. But of course, you know, if you made it this far, just know I may have it in the description. You know what I mean? I'm not saying anything. All I'm saying is you may want to check out the description if you want to hear the snippet. But besides that, Cuff It by Beyonce is of course a phenomenal song. But a lot of people, not a lot, let me not be disrespectful, but some people prefer Rihanna over Beyonce. I know there's people out there, don't kill me, I'm just a messenger. Some people prefer Rihanna over Beyonce. So it doesn't surprise me that somebody uses this advanced AI technology to mimic Rihanna's voice over this Cuff It track by Beyonce. And so now, what I don't know if I used crossroads already, but we're at an interesting point in the music industry where is it plagiarism or is it fair use? Are you using somebody's voice to profit off of, or are you just using your tool, your resources available to you to create revenue? And that's going to be the question going forward, because somebody who's actually talented and not just ripping off the name of Rihanna is going to write an entire album, use your favorite artist's voice, and they're going to come out with the name of Aubrey, or they're going to come out with the name of what's another one, Mr. East. You know what I mean? Like this, you're gonna easily see the inspiration, but you're gonna know it's AI technology. And then what can major labels do about it if you're not completely ripping off their name and their likeness? So anyways, click my link tree in my bio. Let me know on one of my social medias. Have you heard the Rihanna AI Cuff It cover by Beyonce? And also, where do you think this whole AI or evolution of AI in the music industry lands? Do you think it's plagiarism or fair use? Okay. And for my people over at YouTube, just know that like in general, well, YouTube and Kick, just know that in general, I'm not putting up these covers because it would definitely get taken down. Like I think even if YouTube sees it, it would get taken down. And it's not, of course I can talk about it, but if I can't play it and I can't show it, because I've seen other streamers talk about it. So, I definitely gotta be safe out here. Also, shout out to the 8 people we have over at Wisdom right now. I appreciate y'all taking the time out of your morning to listen to me break down the latest tracks that just dropped. I'm just warming up with a little bit of AI coverage right now, so that's why you're hearing a lot of AI. And let me see. That's why you're hearing a lot of AI coverage. Cause I'm not gonna lie, this is pretty insane. Like AI is dropping way more fire than your favorite artist, and I'm sorry, that's just a fact. Like if you're not listening to the Kanye West cover of "When I Was Your Man," or if you're not listening to the Rihanna cover of "Cuff It" by Beyonce, like you're just missing out. Like if you think the best music is on Spotify and Apple right now, you're what's it sorely mistaken. I don't know if that's how you say it, but basically, YouTube has all the best music right now, and all you have to type in is AI cover. Anyway, okay. I'm about to get into my next topic with Kanye, and I'm gonna end with XXX Tentacion. That name's so funny. Like, what in the world? Okay. Um, I kind of want it in general. Okay. Let me see if I can pull this up. All right. Okay, I think I can use this article because it's not the actual track. Yeah, let's use this article. Also, for the people who's just joining, don't forget to click my link tree in my bio to have a link to all my social medias. And also, if you listen to podcasts, I have links to whatever platform you listen to podcasts on. So, it makes it a lot easier for you if you wanted to check out the Notorious Mass Effect. Just past 35,000 downloads per episode. So just know that we definitely have a nice base out there. And I usually do this live streaming just in case somebody want to join and give the perspective. And who knows, you may end up on a podcast. You know what I mean? Hey, you never know. But, hopefully you don't do it just for that reason. But, I do welcome all perspectives. Anyways. All right, let me take this over here. All right, cool. Also, for the people over at the YouTube and Kick, just know that I have this QR code. If you scan it, it sends you directly to my link tree, which has everything I just explained to the people over at Wisdom. And also, download the Wisdom app because that's my main app that I go live on, and that's the one currently I like the most. I do like Wisdom the most. So and I'm not just saying that they not like, yeah, it's not that, but I just generally like it more than some of these other platforms. All right, where's this at? All right, let's get into Triple X. Now, who would have thunk that Triple X, aka Tentacion, would come out with his own track covering Marvin's Room? Now, obviously, if you're looking at the date that this was released and you're looking at the date of his unfortunate passing, you may be a little confused. So let me just catch you up to speed. So the advancement of AI technology has made it to where your voice can be mimicked to the utmost degree. Your vocal inflection, the way you talk, the pauses, the non-pauses, the way you scream, the way you talk quietly. Like if you had an ASMR type of clip going out there, the AI can mimic that. At this point, I think the vocal inflection is the scariest thing when it comes to AI replicating voices because now I've seen this and I don't want to scare y'all. I don't want to scare y'all because it's very scary. I'm not gonna lie to you. But let's just say, for the sake of putting it in perspective, if somebody was to call you and had a loved one just yelling, screaming, and just seeming like they was in danger, right? And then somebody else picked up the phone and they was like, hey, if you don't want nothing to happen to this person, you got to send me this amount of money at this time, at this link by this time. It would be a pretty scary situation. Now, that's actually happened in the past year because scammers, of course, they are going to scam. And how would you know if your loved one's voice is, or if your loved one is actually in danger or not, unless you call them specifically, you know? But it's still a scary sight, or just a scary thought to think of whoever your loved one may be, and the scammer using technology to mimic their voice to the point where you think that's actually your mom, your dad, your sibling screaming for help, and the only way you can save them is by paying I forget what that whole like, was it a hostage situation? um there's an actual term for it. I'm just blanking on it right now. But basically, that's why I'm putting in perspective how scary this evolution of technology has come. So basically, getting back into the lighthearted side of things after that kind of scary, or not scary, but more of a morbid type of take on this new advancement. And hopefully, I saved some of y'all. You know, if y'all get scammed out there, just know I warned you here. So, anyways, creators have used XXXTentacion's voice to cover Marvin's Room, which you already know is by the GOAT, aka Aubrey Graham, aka Drake. So obviously, you know the details surrounding XXXTentacion and Drake. They didn't have the best of relationships, so this whole track is kind of funny to see, but nonetheless, I love to see creators just going through the lexicon of tracks that they've just held to a high regard in their childhood, putting other artists that they hold to a high regard on it, because we've seen way too many Kanye West covers and not enough covers of some of your favorite artists. So I love how creators are starting to branch out and give us these unorthodox type of collabs, where it's XXXTentacion covering Marvin's Room, but it's still a scary thought on how far technology has come and what people are doing with that technology. So, anyways, click my link tree in my bio. Let me know on one of my social medias. What do you think about XXXTentacion covering Marvin's Room? And do you think this advancement in AI has gone too far? All right, I'm back. Okay, let me see. Shout out to the people joining in over at Wisdom. Don't forget to hit that follow button to be notified when I go live. And let me see. Oh, somebody said it's called ransom. Thank you. I appreciate it. I definitely was blanking on that word. And I didn't even know there was a chat feature. What in the world? It's the first time I ever seen this. That is crazy. I wonder if that's new. I don't know. Maybe I just don't get comments. That's crazy. But anyways, thank you. That's the word I was looking for. I was thinking about ransom because obviously, I mean, I don't know if you've heard about it, but that's been happening in the past. I don't know why I just thought of that when I was covering the Tentacion Marvin's Room, but I had to throw that out there because I'm not trying to, I don't want y'all to be scammed. And I always like people when they come away from segments to have something that they didn't have before, like something to take away. It's not just all fluff. You know what I'm saying? But no, that stuff is really happening. Like, people are out here getting scammed, and it's kind of scary the way they're using it, which is why using XXXTentacion's voice to cover Marvin's Room isn't the craziest thing to hear. But anyways, all right. All right, let's get in. And then to finish up our little AI segment, let's get into the Kanye West cover. And most of these are just like, I guess I can tell y'all since it's live. But basically, when I put this on my podcast, which of course I already told y'all, it's like my biggest platform. Um, I'm just gonna put the title. So when they click on the title, obviously, UMG, they're gonna be, Universal Music Group, they're gonna be on it. They're gonna be like, hold up, did somebody else put up a track? But then it's just gonna be me reviewing it. So hopefully they listen to it and they enjoy it. Hit like there's no thumbs up feature on Spotify, but they could hit the follow button or something. Anyways, all right, let's get back into it. We're gonna get into new music in a second. I swear this is my last AI topic. All right. With the unauthorized recreations appearing on streaming, quote unquote, left and right, UMG is asking the platforms to step up on a crackdown. Now, if y'all don't know, UMG, aka Universal Music Group, is the big bad wolf of the music industry. If your artist is Drake, Kanye West, just know they're all signed under Universal Music Group because they have the biggest bag to hand out. I would put it in sports terms, but I'm pretty sure not everybody watches sports, so I'm just gonna keep going on with this segment. But anyways, I did bring up Kanye for a reason because this specific track that I'm covering is "When I Was Your Man" AI Kanye West cover, which if you're should I wait? Actually, I'm just gonna say it now. So if you made it to this point, which you probably did, just know it may or may not be in the description, and that's all I'm gonna say. You know what I mean? If the link was taken down, then hey, that's not on me. I'm just reviewing the track and gave y'all a link to maybe listen to what I'm talking about. So, anyways, AI Kanye West covering "When I Was Your Man" by Bruno Mars is match made in heaven because not only is it Kanye West covering the track, but it's the 808s era of Kanye West, which y'all should probably know what that is. But if you don't, it's like the auto-tune heavy Kanye West. So it's very perfectly aligned with the way the AI is used. And obviously I've talked on this before, and I've kind of said the AI is not the best at mimicking people who can sing. But then I've looked up some Rihanna AI covers, and boy, were they wonderful. Like the Rihanna cover of Cuff It by Beyonce, and even that has its cracks because I believe that certain voices are harder to mimic than others. Like if somebody raps in a monotone type of voice, or if somebody has, which it hurts me to say this because this is my personal goat, but if somebody has a limited vocal range, which is Aubrey Graham, and he tries to cover "When I Was Your Man" by Bruno Mars, you'll probably have to go this route in the heavy auto tune because not everybody can sing like Bruno Mars, and if he does start singing like Bruno Mars, then it becomes unbelievable. Like you can only suspend your disbelief to a certain point. Like if we had who's somebody who can't sing, if we had Brett Fayez covering like the best Weeknd song, it would sound a little different, and you'll be like, hold up, Brent Fayez doesn't really hit those notes usually. Like you get to the point where you cannot suspend your disbelief anymore because that's a lot of this technology is allowing is a suspended disbelief because when you're listening to "When I Was Your Man" by Kanye West, obviously he can't sing like Bruno Mars, but when it's heavy autotune, 808s type of era, then it's perfect. It's perfect for Kanye West, and it sounds amazing. So when you're listening to the track, not gonna lie to you, AI tracks that have been dropping the past not even 4 to 5 weeks, and those tracks by AI have been better than any of the tracks that your favorite artist has dropped. I'm just gonna put it out there. I mean, we have tracks from The Weeknd and Drake called "Heart on Your Sleeve." We have Rihanna covering Beyonce's "Cuff It." We have XXXTentacion covering Drake's "Marvin's Room." We literally have Kanye West covering everything, which I think that's very interesting. When this first happened, the breakthrough, the evolution, right, of technology, everybody was like, hey, let's just have Kanye cover all our favorite songs. I'm like, it's like unanimous at this point that Kanye is probably the biggest artist we've ever had. Like any other artist they could have chose from. Of course, I saw some Taylor Swift covers, but for the most part, if you look up AI covers, who are you going to see? Kanye West. And I think that's a telltale sign on who the public thinks is the best artist in today's age. And you may think he's crazy, which He may be, but he is one of the greatest musicians we've ever had walk on this earth, and that is no exaggeration. So if you want to check out this track called "When I Was Your Man," covered by AI, AI, covered by Kanye West, just know that you are in for a pleasant awakening, because you know sometimes people say rude awakening and that doesn't sound too happy. So let me just say a pleasant awakening, and it's definitely it's one of those tracks you won't forget, and you will definitely say to yourself, look how far technology has come. So anyways, click my link tree in my bio. Let me know on one of my social medias. What do you think about AI Kanye West just covering all of your favorite songs ever created? And do you think it falls more in line with plagiarism or fair use? Okay. All right. All right, let's get into some action music, some actual music that dropped. Let me pull this up. I had to get that AI. I'm not gonna lie. Every time I put up AI covers on my podcast, people seem to enjoy it, because it's like people be like, "What, the Drake and the Weeknd drop?" And they be like, "Oh, it's just AI," and then they listen to it and they be like, "Oh, this is fire." Because I think at this point, I mean, it's gonna take a little bit, because you know a lot of people still have that stigma of AI not being able to replicate vocal inflection. But once we get to that point where people realize that it's like exactly the same, um, it's definitely gonna get to a scary place. Like your favorite artist may be out of a job, and I am not exaggerating. Um, okay, who are we gonna start with? Let's start with, obviously you see the people in the title. I try to save them for last, because at the end of the day, this is really one of those things where I like to talk about them for a good amount, and I don't want to like waste time talking about them at the beginning and then getting into these other people. Not even gonna lie to you, I really want to get into the Post Malone stuff, and obviously the Weeknd, because he dropped a phenomenal track. All right, let's start with I guess we'll do Ian Dior. He dropped leave me. Let me see. Let me see. What does this look like? Okay, I'm gonna take that off. And then I can't believe I didn't think of that. Like the person who put a ransom, I appreciate you, because I definitely could not think of it. I was like, bro, how come on? You know, I don't. It's like it's whenever you get up and start like explaining stuff, and you just try to think of a word, it just draws a blank. I'm like, bro, what? Like I literally talk about this all the time. It's kind of crazy. But anyways, I guess it happens. And then let's get into Bad Bunny. Ian Dior, Bad Bunny, and then let's get into something I actually want to talk about. Did I have Nicki on here? I didn't. Okay, we could probably talk about Nicki. Hmm. Okay, yeah. Let's start with Nicki. Got to start with the queen of rap. You know what I mean? It can't be disrespectful. Anyways, all right. Let me get into the track. Right. Oh, also for the new people joining in, just know what I usually do is I cover new tracks that just came out. Then I put it after the fact when I edit and everything on my podcast, The Notorious Mass Effect. So if you click my link tree in my bio, you'll be linked directly to whatever platform you listen to podcasts on. And oh yeah, that's basically it. Oh, also, if you want to join, which is this is the main reason I like going live on Wisdom, because I don't know, I just like the accessibility, because this is a safe space, of course, you know, an open discussion. So that means that if you want to join in as a guest and give your perspective, to either say I'm completely wrong and then give your 2 cents, I'm definitely open to that. I love different perspectives and that back and forth and just having that type of conversation. But whenever I'm getting into the segment, I'll prefer it to be on topic. But if not, then of course you can jump in with whatever you want to say in between. But yeah. Okay, let me pull up this article. Not gonna lie to you, Nicki has been busy. You would think she would have chilled out after the Ice Spice remix, but I guess not. But that's actually how I'm gonna start. So I'm not. I'm gonna wait until before I get into that because there's a point I want to make. Okay. All right. Cool. Well, let's get into Nicki right now. And by right now, I mean as soon as this pulls up. Hold on, I'm trying to get this whole thing up here. Dream song with Nicki. Okay, let me find the title of this track because I don't want to call it Dream. I don't think it's called Dream. I don't think it's called that at all. What's her name? Kim Petras? I swear I would never type this in if she didn't have a track with Nicki. Kim Petras. Okay, whoever this is. Alone, that's what it's called. Okay, I knew it wasn't called Dream. Anyways, if there's one thing about Nicki, she's always gonna keep a hit because right off the heels of her Ice Spice Princess Diana remix, where she literally signed Ice Spice to the point where she could only distribute that song under her label, which is a completely boss move. Like a complete boss move. I've never seen that before. Like, imagine the only way you can get me on the track is for you to put out a track under my label. Like, that's just insane. Like, she's not in the future, she's not signed to Nicki, but of course, to put out that specific track, she had to put it under Nicki's label, which happens at times, but only when you're that type of artist. And let me tell you, Nicki, being the queen of rap, she definitely deserves those type of let's just say rules when it comes to a contract, you know what I mean? But anyways, Kim Petras, which I don't know who that is, but of course she has Nicki on the track, so we're about to talk about her. And Nicki, coming right off of Princess Diana remix, had me a little confused being a part of another track, but it all makes sense as soon as you listen to the first 10 seconds of this track called Alone by Kim Petras and Nicki Minaj, because the way that this track samples one of the biggest iconic songs to ever hit DSPs or just ever hit, because back in the day I don't know if they had DSPs, to ever hit the radio. Let me just say that. I can't believe that they actually got this sample cleared. And to say that, I'm not even being funny. Okay, hold up. Wow. Okay, I gotta start over. I knew I was missing something. I had to. Okay. Yeah. No, that actually made me upset. Give me a second. I had a fact pulled up. I couldn't find it. Wow. Yeah, I had to stop. That's the whole thing about watching it live is like, sometimes I stop, I start, I stop again. Um Kim Petras. Where is it at? I had this don't tell me I can't find it now. I literally had the sample that they used. Let me see, Dream. Now that's frustrating because I was kind of into it. Let's see. Nah, I can't even spell Petrus. What kind of name is Petrus, man? I ain't gonna lie. If I'm like disrespecting one of y'all favorite artists, just know I apologize. I'm completely ignorant when it comes to Kim Petrus. I don't know who this is. All right, here we go. All right, now this should be a more accurate representation because I knew I had an article that put this clearer. All right. Anyways, all right. Take two. I think it's take two. I don't even know at this point. Kim Petras and Nicki Minaj have collaborated for this track titled Alone. Now, I know what you're probably thinking. Who is Kim Petras? But also, why is Nicki Minaj making another remix, not even a remix, putting out another collab track right after remixing Ice Spice's Princess Diana, where she literally pulled the ultimate boss move and had Ice Spice distribute that track through Nicki Minaj label. And the reason I said Nicki Minaj in the third person, because if I said her label, you probably would have been confused. So Nicki Minaj created a whole entire label just for that track to come under. And I think that this is going to be the pattern going forward for Nicki Minaj whenever she does a collab with the up and coming artist, because obviously Nicki is the queen of rap. She really has nothing to prove at this point. I mean, think about Lauryn Hill. She gave us one album. Granted, it was a classic and disappeared forever. Nicki Minaj has been around for decades and still is considered one of the best rappers to ever grace a mic. So, anyways, for her to come off the heels of Princess Diana remix, literally having Ice Spice distributed under her label that she just made up off the fly, to collabing with Kim Petras on this track titled Alone, I was like, why in the world would she do this, knowing that Princess Diana is probably gonna ring off for the summer? Like, I've heard way too many dudes talk about Princess Diana remix to the point where I'm like, nah, this is probably going to be a hit for the summer. Like, you know how you can kind of see a hit before it happens? Because of course, Analytic Dreams is my name. Like, I'm trying to dissect the numbers. I'm looking at who's generating buzz, who's putting up numbers, and let me tell you, Ice Spice alone was putting up numbers. So now that she's added Nicki Minaj plus a video? No, just play. Let me chill. All right, my fault. But basically, Kim Petras and Nicki Minaj have collab because if you listen to the first 10 seconds, you will understand why they even collab for this track, which it's a play off of the 1998 club classic, which everybody knows this. It's titled Better Off Alone. And I think that samples like this is why AI technology may not be able to completely take over the music industry, because at the end of the day, if you can tell me one number one hit that hasn't sampled a nostalgic iconic pop song, then my whole point would be invalid, because for every number one Billboard track, there's always been a sample from a older track that has, I mean, think about Nicki Minaj's her most successful track that came out last year. Like, I think this was her, no, not think, it was her most successful track ever, and she was the first rapper to have a number one by herself since Lauryn Hill in like 1990 something. So let me find the title of that track. It was called Super Freaky Girl. And I forget what it sampled, but that track definitely had a heavy sample to the point where everybody was like, oh, the sample carried, because, they're going to find some way to hate on Nicki Minaj, because when you're the queen of rap, like, somebody got to find some type of imperfection or what they deem as imperfection. And so that's what they went with. The sample is the reason why she got that number one. But all the excuses to the side, she had her most successful track sampling. And obviously, I'm kind of saying the same thing, but when it's Nicki and you can put your stardom attached to that nostalgic sample, usually this is what happens. So it kind of makes sense that Nicki's team cleared this to come out, because if you don't know, if you get a feature from a highly acclaimed artist, it can still not come out if the team's like, hey, we don't really want that out right now. I mean, just think about all the Young Thug features that's came out after he's been is incarcerated the right word? I don't know. But anyways, it's only from specific people. Like, remember when Young Thug was having features coming out with everybody? Obviously, people were like, oh, he's locked up, he can't make music. He has unreleased verses from people that couldn't put it out because his team reached out and was like, hey, at this point in time, we really don't want that to come out. Which is why you only see him on albums with the likes of Quavo, who was a Young Nudie, Metro Boomin, like the big names. Like it's not like, and Young Nudie was like part of his YSL, so it wasn't like, and RP to Young Nudie. I think he passed away. I'm pretty sure. I don't want to just say random people passed away, but I'm pretty sure he did. Um, but yeah, so like he's popping up strategically, not just anybody can put out Young Thug verse. So if Nicki's team wanted this to come out, or wanted this not to come out, they could have had it either way. So she definitely blessed this, and it kind of makes sense when you listen to the first 10 seconds, because whenever you're able to sample a 1998 classic, let me tell you, you better put that out. So anyways, click my link tree in my bio. Let me know on one of my social medias. What do you think about all the power moves that Nicki Minaj is making right now in the music industry? Had a collab with NBA Youngboy, had a collab with Ice Spice, and now she has a collab with Kim Petras, who I don't know, but they sampled the classic hit, and you would know it when you hear it, called Better Off Alone. And have you listened to the track Alone by Kim Petras and Nicki Minaj, and do you think it's fire or trash? All right. I feel like that was way longer than it needed to be, but I don't know. It's Nicki, so I don't mind talking about Nicki for a while. Like Nicki's like probably one of the few artists where hey, it's not enough flowers you can give Nicki. But anyways, all right, let's get into Bad Bunny, because for some reason this made news. So if you turn with me in the app of Spotify, hit the little search icon, go all the way down to new releases, and then go to New Music Friday. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is what an industry plant looks like. Sitting at the top of New Music Friday is an artist I've never heard before. But that's only because it's attached to an artist that we can't hear enough of from, because the way he talks, the way he makes music, the way we can't, well, some of us can't understand what he's saying, because obviously he's singing in a whole different language, and his genre makes it very hard to keep up with what he's releasing and the type of moves he's going to make going forward, being in the music industry. Now, if you wasn't able to follow along, just know I'm talking about Mr. Bad Bunny and the latest track that just dropped, called, it's like Un times 100. I ain't gonna lie to you. I probably messed that all the way up. But all I know is in parentheses it says 1%, and I don't know what that means. So anyways, Bad Bunny is some artist. I have no idea who it is. He collabed with him for some reason, and this is produced and composed by Latin hit makers Edgar Barrar and Mag, and or MAG, if it's like it's all capital. So I'm like, is that abbreviation? Is that a name? I have no idea. And then the reason I'm talking about this, let's just get right into it, because you know me, I'm trying to get into the drama. So anyways, Bad Bunny's was copping pleas for Harry Styles, because at Coachella, I don't know, somebody was performing, and then they put up a sign that says, good night, Benito could do it. But what is this? Good night, Benito could do as it was, but Harry could never do Apagon. But if that's an expletive, bro, I'm sorry, bro. I didn't even know. But anyways, yeah. So they said that. I'll repeat it for the ones who didn't, understand what I was saying, because I can understand this whole thing. It's kind of, it's hard for me to read it, bro. I don't speak that language. But anyways, it says, quote, "Good night, Benito could do as it was, but Harry could never do Apagon." Anyways, I don't get what it was, but so Bad Bunny was taking shots at Harry Styles, and then Bad Bunny came back to cop pleas, and he basically said that he had no ill will towards Harry Styles, which he displayed the screen during his Coachella performance. So he had no ill will after seeing the words on the screen, but then clearing it to be shown to his fans. Interesting. Interesting. Very interesting. Now, this is to the point where it kind of shows me the hierarchy of things, because if Harry Styles can spit on somebody in his movie premiere, like literally just look it up. Like some of this stuff is like it's hilarious. The things that Harry Styles gets away with. But if this man can spit on people, you know what I mean, and still have an album of the year and Grammys and still be a part of some of the biggest movies in the world and still have a notorious career, and he's just out here having no repercussions, then I think these artists really need to start looking at who they need to beef with and who they can't beef with. Because if you're going to try to beef with somebody and immediately cop a plea, then maybe, just maybe, you shouldn't have beefed with him in the first place. Shout out to Meek Mill. I still don't know where that man's career is. But anyways, click my link tree in my bio. Let me know on one of my social medias. What do you think about Bad Bunny and this other artist? I have no idea who it is. And the track titled "Un Times 100." And will you be giving it a listen? Shout out to the 13 people we have over at Wisdom right now. Just know in general, if you missed the parts of this, it will go up after the fact to whatever platform you listen to podcasts on. Just click my link tree in my bio, and you'll have a link to whatever platform or to the platform you listen to podcasts on. So it's called the Notorious Mass Effect. If you was wanting to look it up, right now our base is pretty it's pretty big at this point. I mean, as an independent person doing doing the editing and everything, I would say it's big for myself, as we have like 30, we just crossed 35,000 downloads per episode. So yeah, we're doing pretty well over there. It's definitely my biggest platform by far, and I usually just go live to just give that extra accessibility, because obviously I do ad deals over at my DSP platforms, but over at YouTube, shameless plug, but it's really not a shameless plug. It's really to help y'all. It's like an ad-free version, and this whole thing will be uploaded after the fact on YouTube. So anyways, but it's in like the unlisted tab. You kind of have to search for it, stuff like that. I'll be trying to help y'all out. But anyways, all right. Let me see. Oh, also you get to hear me mess up like a bunch of times, so that's fun, ain't it? Anyways, all right, let's get into Ian Dior, because yeah, for some reason people wanna hear about this. If you walk out, girl, don't call me again. Same time, same place. We can start again. My place, same time. We can start again. And then the chorus goes on to say, I guess I'm a bad guy. I guess I'm a bad liar. I can't solve your problems. Pass them to the next guy. A lot of bad habits that I gotta kick, but it's the same habits, girl, that made me rich. I almost shed a tear. I ain't gonna lie. Mumble rappers actually giving us lyrics that we have to break down. Man, you love to see it. So, anyways, Ian Dior is back again, and obviously he's the furthest thing from a mumble rapper. But anytime I see a name just showing heavy inspiration from the fashion industry, I have to point it out, as it's very much a trend in the fashion industry. But to be named Ian Dior, I think it's a little what I mean? I think it's a little on the nose. I think he could have came up with a better name, but hey, who am I to judge? You know what I'm saying? So, anyways, Ian Dior is back again with the whole album, and he's put out 12 tracks. Yeah, 12 tracks for his fans, and this is his third studio album, I believe. And what else? He had an interview with DJ Academics that will be dropping sometime soon. Um, He's working on a completely different album with Internet Money, and I'm definitely not reading this off a promo script. And then, as was done for his debut freshman studio album, Industry Plant. Okay, so Or at least he acknowledges that. So let's get into basically the quality of it. I listened to the first track. I forget which track it was. I think it was Start Again. I'm not trying to be funny. Yeah, it was the one I was reading from. Okay, so Start Again is the one I listened to, and just from first listen, I will say that Ian Dior is the type of person where it feels like he's mimicking another artist trying to find himself. And why I say that is because Post Malone is a person that perfected a certain flow to the point where if we hear any other artist trying that flow, we're going to say, you're copying artist A or you're copying artist B. Like it's easy to point out when somebody's trying to mimic a more established artist. Not saying that Ian Dior is mimicking Post Malone, just saying that I feel like I'm not even trying to be funny. I feel like Ian Dior is kind of in a lane where he's pop but still hip hop, if that makes sense. Like he's trying to get these instrumentals that's more in the pop realm, but still trying to it's fornicate. I feel like fornicate is kind of explicit, ain't it? I don't know. Fornicate with the hip hop heads to try to be in the in the um in the group of hip hop artists. Because if you don't know, hip hop's probably one of the most accepting genres you ever find. I mean, we accept murderers, we accept drug dealers. I mean, we accept some other things that I can't say on live. Um, just know that the person that's locked up currently, we still accept him and bump his music, and y'all find out who that is. Y'all can probably already tell who I'm talking about. But at the end of the day, hip hop is pretty accepting as a genre, and for Ian Dior to be putting out this music that is semi decent, I'm not mad at him because if he's found a way to hustle a fan base to get behind him, then hey, who am I to judge? So, anyways, click my link tree in my bio. Let me know on one of my social medias. What do you think about Ian Dior and his album? And also, what do you think about his single? I don't even know if it's a single, but it's on the new music charts. So that's the one that his major label's probably pushing as a single titled Start Again. And will you be giving it a listen? All right, let me see. All right, Ian Dior. I got an email the other day. This is probably random. I like to tell y'all, but anyways, I got an email the other day, and somebody was like, "Hey, um, Analytic Dreams, can I be part of your playlist?" And it literally put nothing after that. I'm like, bro, you gotta have a better pitch. Like, ain't no way this is how they coming. This is no like. I remember getting approached by Carly in the Universe, who was just like a band, and they was like real respectful. They gave me like a whole PR type stuff with a password. I was like, oh, this is professional. And then, of course, it was a hip hop artist. Just hits me up. Hey, man, can I be part of your playlist? No details whatsoever. So guess what? I ain't respond. Can't do it. Can't do it. I felt bad, but you know, I guess he got to learn somehow. Anyways, all right, let's get let's get into the Killer Roy. All right, let's get into Moneybag Yo because that was fire. Um, and then let's get into Ed Sheeran. Yeah, let's find somebody else. What else can we get into? Ooh, let's get into Lotto. Okay, yeah, we get into some tracks I like. All right, cool. I gotta pull up the lyrics for Lotto because she was talking. Hold up, give me 1 second. Lotto, put it on the floor. By the way, I do listen to these tracks. Like if it was an album, I can't give like a whole entire album review. But that's why I try to focus on tracks because I can give a pretty quick review. I've listened to enough music where, well, the popular music where it's pretty formulaic. It's easy to tell if the track's gonna be fire or not. Like I remember the Little Uzi, I Just Wanna Rock. I remember saying the beat was fire, but Uzi wasn't rapping a lot, and I like kind of say he was mimicking Drake with the whole dance hall type vibe. And guess what? It blew up on TikTok. It was like a dance type track. Everybody dancing, whole dance stuff to it. Like it was. I feel like I be calling stuff, but anyways, maybe I'm gassing. I'm gassing, putting too much gas on it. I don't know what they call that. Anyways, I'm trying to find a specific line from Lotto. Should I just start with Lotto? I mean, I might as well. I'm already on the lyrics. Somebody said I'm not putting I'm not putting the articles up. My fault, my fault. My fault. I'm gonna do that for the next one. My fault. Shout out to people over at Kickman. You know, y'all get a bad rap, you know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? Anyways, back to what I was doing. What is it, verse 2? I'm trying to find the medicine bar. Y'all know what that's at? Um, better keep my name out your mouth. No, not that one. That one's fire. Imaginary smoke. Laughing to the bank. She was talking on this track. I ain't gonna cap. Lotto a rapper. I see why she was beefing with Ice Spice. Cause if they get in the back and forth, man, Lotto gonna eat her up. No cap. Smoking on gas. I mean, it was 420, I guess. Bro, where's the medicine bar? That's what I'm looking for. Imaginary smoke. I didn't see it all. Laughing to the bank. Okay, how do I just type in medicine? I don't think that's gonna work. I'm sorry. I'm looking for the specific bar. That's how you know I like this track. Like I'm looking for a specific bar. It's pretty simple, but I know who she's talking about. So that's all I want to focus on. All right, I can't find it. When the mouse, when diamonds hit you up, don't see the shade. Keep them my city. Let me pull diamonds. Kind of I mean, eggplant. Oh my lord, I can't find it. I didn't see it all. Left to the bang. Okay, this part may be kind of boring because I have to find this now. He ran off. Drop the bow. Okay. Oh, find it. Okay, she said meds, not medicine. That's why I couldn't find it. Okay, cool. I found it. All right, let me put the article up so y'all don't bug out on me. Let me see. Shout out to the 18 people we have over at Wisdom right now. Just know I'm getting into the latest hip hop, and in general, I get into the latest hip hop and gaming. It's usually what I talk about. And whatever platform you listen to podcasts on, just know if you click my link tree in my bio, it'll give you a link directly to that. All right, let me make sure this is up. Okay. Cool. All right, let's get into Miss Lotto. So if you get into a I messed that up. Should I just keep going? I may just take a pause. Let me think about it. So let's just say you get into a romantic relationship with this artist. Does that mean that you technically hit the lotto? All right, I'll stop. My fault. I don't have a boo sound effect, so I can't like boo myself. And there's no tomatoes to throw at me because I'm the only person here. But y'all get what I'm trying to say. Basically, Lotto is back again with a new track titled Put It on the Flow. And I think she's saying that because specifically, we got to get into the lyrics. Whenever I get into the lyrics, it means, for the most part, that the quality is very heavy. Because you will obviously tell when I'm making fun of an artist, and I'm not doing that here, because she's definitely got bars that she was given to somebody's head top, and I think I know who it was. Anyways, Lotto said, quote, she thought I would kiss her expletive. She must ain't took her meds. So let me just repeat that. She thought I would kiss her expletive. She must ain't took her meds. Now I wonder who she's talking about. And then she says it again. Laughing to the bank, but this ain't a joke. Say she got a problem. Imaginary smoke. Who does Lotto have a problem with? Expletive set us up, then put it on the flow. I done it all. feel like shoddy low. Now she just getting into a chorus. But then on verse 2, she says, let's see if I can find it. Better keep my name out. Better keep my name up out her mouth. They've been trying to. They've been trying me. Sorry, I can't read today. If it's been, then let me know. Baby, why you hiding it? And I heard about your expletive. Oh wow, she went crazy. No, I can't even say the rest of that. Let's just say it has something to do with fish, and yeah, we're just gonna leave it at that. So basically, she's throwing direct shots, not even direct. She's throwing subliminal shots at the queen of hip hop, aka Onika Mirage. Also, I heard that for as polite and just I don't know how to phrase this, as non-problematic as Ice Spice seems in her interviews and her like all her little segments and PR stunts she's been doing, let's just say that she has a plethora of beefs that nobody knows about simply for the fact that everybody wants to root for Ice Spice. Now, they say she has beef with Bia. They say Ice Spice has beef with Lotto. So is Ice Spice like low key a hard to work with person behind the scenes? But I'm just throwing it out there. But anyways, Ice Spice and Lotto is going back and forth, and for some reason they don't like each other. And I think that these shots are sent at Nicki Minaj. Now I know you may be lost. I know you may be lost. Let me just say this. I think it's an allegiance whenever you collab with Nicki, which is why whenever, if you go back and listen to my Princess Diana remix review, I ended that segment saying somebody needs to ask Nicki if Ice Spice gets a Cardi B feature, can she put it out? Because the moment, as soon as you collab with Cardi B, it seems like Nicki Minaj pulls all her support away from you, which is how this Lotto and Nicki Minaj beef started in the first place. And I think the Ice Spice and Lotto beef was just inherited because of that. And not saying that Ice Spice is beefing with Nicki, beefing with Lotto because of the Nicki and Lotto beef. I think Lotto is beefing with Ice Spice because of all the praise that she's getting right now. I mean, imagine being Lotto this long into the game and seeing Ice Spice get the cosign of a lifetime, basically the queen of hip hop calling her the princess. I would be beefing with her too. And you know how petty girls are, which is why if girls weren't so petty, some of the biggest women rappers in their ecosystem will be the biggest rappers in general in the hip hop space. Most of the top performing hip hop artists are men. And that's not to say like men are better at hip hop, just saying that the support could be a little bit greater for women from their own gender. Because if you think about it, R&B wise, I mean, we have the likes of SZA going crazy, Summer Walker going crazy. There's a lot of different women artists in the R&B field that are putting up a lot of numbers statistically on the billboards. But when it comes to hip hop, of course, we had Glorilla come out with her F&F, but then who won the actual awards? We had the Kendricks, we had the Futures, we had who else? Pusha T's of the world. Like, it's just overwhelmingly male when it comes to hip hop support, and I think it's for a reason. A lot of people say they don't. A lot of women say they don't like being objectified in hip hop raps and in the lyrical content that they spew out. But if they would stop supporting it, guess who would stop rapping about it? And guess who keeps supporting it? I mean, I ain't gonna lie to you. I go to a Future show and it'd be some of the baddest ones in there. I ain't gonna lie to you. And then at this point, it's just like, man, are they lying? It's like somebody's lying. It's like one of those things. It's like the election, right? Everybody can't say they hate Trump and then he actually won the election. Like somebody lying. I ain't gonna lie to you. You can't say you hate being objectified and go to his concerts. But hey, that's another story for another day. Now let me get back on subject. So basically, Lotto and Put It on the Flow is basically a huge diss towards Onika and Miss Ice Spice. And I should probably say Miss Spice. I like that nickname. But yeah, I don't think anything will come of this because she wasn't as direct with it, but the subliminal shots are there. The whole take your meds type thing is playing off of Nicki's anger problems. Apparently, she's bipolar, kind of like Kanye West, but like, you know, actually, yeah, definitely like Kanye West. I mean, if you've heard Onika go on her rants, you can kind of tell that, you know, she may have that little switch where when she switches it on, then she just goes off. Like I remember, I still remember to this day when Joe Budden went up there to do an interview with Nicki Minaj at Apple Radio, and Nicki Minaj cussed at him for 10 minutes straight to the point where Joe Budden's mic was cut off. So he couldn't even respond if he wanted to. So she had her producers cut his mic off, and she just sat there and cussed at him for like 10 minutes straight. And then right after that, did his show that Joe Budden, look this up, I'm not joking. And then right after she cussed him out on her show, on Queen Radio, she went on the Joe Budden podcast and did a whole entire interview with him, and her whole entire mood was different. So at that point, I was like, you know what? Nicki may be a little crazy. I'm not gonna lie to you. Nicki may be a little crazy, but guess what? I'm here for it because she is indeed one of the best rappers to ever grace the mic. So I guess at this point, we gotta deal with it. So anyways, click my link tree in my bio. Let me know on one of my social medias. What do you think about Lotto taking subliminal shots off of the track, put it on the flow? And will you be giving it? Not only will you be giving it a listen, if you listen to it or if you've heard it, do you think it's fire or trash? Okay. All right. Let me see if I can. Um. Shout out to the 19 people we have right now over at Wisdom. Almost have 20. Make sure to hit that follow button to be notified when I go live. Just know I cover the latest hip hop and gaming news. So to stay up to that, stay up to date with that. Make sure to hit that follow button, please, and thank you. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? So, anyways, all right, let's get into Ed Sheeran because he's definitely at this point. You know how we like to say like imaginary. Um, we like to invite white artists that seem down with the black cause to like imaginary cookouts. I think Ed Sheeran's one of those, man. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like the imaginary cookout that all the black people talk about in life. Like I think he's invited to that. You know what I'm saying? So, anyways, that's not what I'm starting my segment off with. I'm just saying. Now, if you've listened to my podcast, you know that the way that I listen to Ed Sheeran is a little different because I hold him in such high regards. I mean, he's literally showed me all the signs you can use in mathematical equations. I mean, how can you not love an artist like that? But all jokes aside, Ed Sheeran is probably one of those artists that I put on the list of not having any bad songs, and it just continues with this new single he just put out titled Boat. Yes, you heard me correctly, just Boat. Now, no, Lil Yachty did not ghostwrite this because apparently he's ghostwriting for some of your biggest artists currently. So just know Ed Sheeran wrote this song himself, and it's a rollout to his fifth studio album that a lot of people are waiting for. And of course, in the track is talking about love and things of that nature, but it's being delivered in the Ed Sheeran fashion in a way that only he can, because he can actually sing. That's why, for me, a lot of art. If you haven't noticed, in the past years when I do my whole top albums of the year, most of the time, if not all the time, it's R&B artists at number one because I think it's harder to make an album full of singing than it is to make an album full of rap. Now I know being a person who covers hip hop that may seem blasphemous for most people, but let me just say I feel like singing takes way more talent than being able to rap. Anybody can rap, anybody can rhyme, cat, hat, and bat, but not too many people can sing like the likes of a Weeknd, Ariana Grande, Ed Sheeran, um, who's some other ones? Rihanna, Beyonce, Taylor Swift, stuff like that. Like, just the vocal inflections on a whole different level. And if they wanted to, they could rhyme cat, hat, and bat if they wanted to get up there and do it. Obviously, people can probably get to the lyrical content, but that's a whole nother deeper conversation. So Ed Sheeran kind of gave a quick synopsis of this track saying, quote, Boat is the first song I wrote and finished for Subtract. It's where it all began and a good way to kick off the album. And so, hold up, did he just give us the album title? Was it already titled Subtract? Do we already know that? I didn't know that. I didn't know his album was titled Subtract. Hmm. Interesting. So I guess his fifth studio album is titled Subtract. I mean, obviously, how many mathematical symbols you're gonna go through before we start figuring it out? You know what I mean? Like, there's only so many you can go through. But anyways, so apparently, his fifth studio album is going to be titled Subtract, and he just released another single titled Boat. So click my link tree in my bio. Let me know on one of my social medias. What do you think about Ed Sheeran in general as an artist? And have you heard the track Boat? And do you think it's fire or trash? All right, we're gonna get to Moneybag Yo next. I'm waiting for kind of on a I don't even know what to call it, but on a smaller tip. I don't know. Pause. Hey yo, but I want like a ergonomic chair, and I have that coming in. But man, can I not wait for how you buy some and you just start completely realizing like the use of it. Like if you buy some shoes and you're like, man, I could really use these right now. It's kind of like that. Like my back kind of hurting, but I'm not old. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not trying to complain about it. But I just wanted to at least tell y'all one time. So for the people who cared, for the people who care, they hear me say it. But for the people who don't, you know what I mean? That's just hurtful. That's hurtful. But anyways, all right, let's keep going. Let's get into Moneybag Yo. From the first 20 seconds of this track, I knew. Oh, hold up. All right, I forgot to put the article up. I already knew y'all was gonna say something. Give me 1 second. Um, so many ads. Let me see if I can take this off. From the first 20 seconds, I knew that Mr. Bag has gotten back in this bag because, for a second, I was like, this is kind of getting formulaic. I kind of know what I'm going to get from Moneybag Yo, and I haven't really gotten that since. You know how you kind of get the same flow over and over and it starts to wear on you, and then you get a significant change, but not too much of a change to where it's like, oh, this is completely left field, out of left field from my favorite artist, right? Obviously, Moneybag Yo is not my favorite artist, but this new track titled Motion God is very fire. Like, as far as the title, like even Charlemagne the God, like I don't ever like saying the God part because it's like, come on now, like what are we really comparing ourselves to? So, anyways, that's besides the point. So the Memphis rapper has been hard at work. I love how these articles frame it for his new album titled "Hard to Love," which is something that he's explaining. Quote, well, Moneybag Yo is explaining his album, saying, quote, I'm more vulnerable on this project than I ever been because of what I went through in the last 2 years. End quote. Does anybody know what Moneybag Yo went through? Obviously, he had this girl called Ari, and she had like her own motion, so she could have technically put out a track called Motion God. Like, imagine she put out a track called Motion Satan or something like that. These artists love to praise Satan nowadays. I don't know why, but anyways, so for Moneybag Yo and Ari, I know there was like I'm not gonna say a celebrity couple, but they was to the point where a lot of people was like, if Ari left, she got her own money, she got her own bag, she don't need him. And like on the shade room, you ever go in the comment section of the shade room as a male? Please don't do it, man. You would get destroyed going in there, and they just Like, I mean, not you specifically getting destroyed, but as far as like your dignity, your dignity as a man, like it's like, bro, they really talking about us like this? Like, it's kind of crazy. So, anyways, Ari gets so much love on the Shady Room, and I may go as far as to say is Ari may have helped Moneybag Yo's career. Now, are they still together? I don't think so. So maybe that's what he's gonna say on this album titled "Hard to Love." I'm pretty sure he's gonna have a track like literally dedicated to her, because you know that would definitely be picked up by the Shade Room. They're gonna tear him to shreds even more, and that if he puts out a track like that. So apparently this album is coming out. Um, oh, no time soon. He didn't even give a release date, so he don't. That's unfortunate. So we don't know when this album gonna come out. I guess he's gonna come out whenever he feels like it. But yeah, man, pray for Moneybagg Yo. Apparently he's going through it to title a whole entire album "Hard to Love" can either be toxic, or you can just be opening up your feelings to being hurt and expressing that on a track. So, anyways, click my link tree in my bio. Let me know on one of my social medias. What do you think about Moneybagg Yo dropping his new single titled "Motion God"? And do you think his next album will be fire or trash? All right, let's get into who is this? Oh, Killer Roy. Let's get into Killer Roy. Now, there's a lot of things that came out of Coachella, but one of the more positive things that came out of Coachella was the Killer Roy being inspired by the mere presence of the Never Say Never King himself, aka Justin Bieber, who was in attendance for his performance. The Killer Roy said, quote, "It changed my expletive life." And 3 or 4 days after, he released another single titled, what was this titled? "Where Does Your Spirit Go?" I don't know why he put this out, but obviously Killer Roy loves Justin Bieber. If you listen to him perform, you can tell that Justin Bieber is, I would say, a fan of the Killer Roy. I don't think that's a stretch. He definitely knows who the Killer Roy is. It's not like the Killer Roy is just some underground artist vehemently trying to get Justin Bieber's attention. Like, he obviously is somebody, you know what I mean, who's on Justin Bieber's radar, and he wouldn't just be saying that for no reason. That'd be kind of weird if he was like, "Hey, Justin Bieber," and he just walked right past him. Like, that'd just be kind of messed up. So I'm pretty sure they know each other. I think they have songs together, if I'm not mistaken. Let me look it up, because the Killer Roy obviously have songs with Post Malone, so it wouldn't be out the realm to have songs with Justin Bieber. Oh, they have a whole track called "Stay," and then they have "Unstable." Yeah, they have a bunch of songs together. That's why I figured they had tracks together, because for Justin Bieber to be in attendance, he's just not showing up for no reason. Obviously, he said he was inspired, and I don't know some other words about Frank Ocean's set, but boy was he lying, because Frank Ocean's Coachella set may have been the worst performance I've ever seen in my life. And seen, because you know somebody may or may not have recorded it and sent it to the boy, but you know that's a whole nother story for a whole nother day. Just know, because they did take down the live stream. I am aware of that, but you know there's other ways to get stuff. Anyways, so yeah, after Justin Bieber was done capping about Frank Ocean's performance, he you know, sat through Kid Leroy's performance, and it inspired him to drop another single for his upcoming album titled "Where Does Your Spirit Go?" And he also followed it up by saying, quote, "This wasn't," oh, okay, so now he's explaining his whole like infatuation with Justin Bieber. So the Killer Roy put in a Instagram post saying, quote, "This wasn't in the release plans, but I played it this weekend at Coachella, and I just felt like the time was right for some reason. This one means a lot to me. It's super personal. It's a song about loss, grieving, and dealing with the thoughts and emotions that come with that. Mm-mm-mm. I pray for all of you who are going through something similar currently, and I hope this helps you feel a little less alone in all of it. I love you guys, and thanks for everything. Mm-mm-mm. Artists really know how to sell it, don't they? Anyways, yo, my fault. Um, so yeah, he put that track out called "Where Does Your Love Go." Where does your spirit go? I think the Killer Roy's a very talented artist. Obviously, do I think he'll still be here if it wasn't for the Juice WRLD cosign? If you've listened to my podcast, you know how I feel about cosigns. I think they make and break the ceiling of your career. Obviously, you can be no, not even famous. You can get on, you can have a hit without a cosign, but your ceiling is exponentially greater when you have a cosign from a legend in the game. And the in Juice WRLD at that point was a legend in the game, and for him to cosign the Killer Roy, I mean, you see what that's done for his career to this day. So, anyways, click my link in my bio. Let me know on one of my social medias. What do you think about the Killer Roy and his latest single titled "Where Does Your Spirit Go?" And if you've heard it, do you think it's fire or trash? Shout out to the people joining right now, and I see we have 21 right, 21 currently, I believe. Thank you for taking the time out of your morning to listen to me break down all the latest tracks that just dropped, like literally just dropped. Just know in general, I cover the latest hip hop and gaming news. So to stay up to I can't even talk. To stay to stay up to date with that, make sure to hit the follow button to be notified when I go live because it's we're doing pretty well on that front. I'm not gonna keep going over my numbers, but just know, podcast is doing well, and yeah, we're gonna try to keep it going. Let me see. People over at YouTube and Kick, hopefully y'all enjoying the little live stream. You know what I'm saying? I'm putting up the articles, so you know what I mean. Don't yell at me. Don't yell at me. Nah, just playing. All right. Who else do we have to talk about? Oh, are we getting to? We may be getting into the rest of the artists. So we have Youngboy, of course. We already got into Nicki, Ed Sheeran, Bad Bunny, Lotto, The Weeknd. Oh yeah, we may be done. Okay, so it's time to get into the artist and the title. You love to see it. Give me 1 second. Let me try to find this. All right, so we're about to get into The Weeknd, Youngboy, and Post Malone. I haven't even checked the time. I've been enjoying this. I do enjoy covering new music when it's actually fire. Like when it's trash, when a bunch of no-name artists are dropping, it really makes this difficult. But when a bunch of like notable artists are dropping with actual accolades, it's like okay, actual real music drop. Okay, hopefully I can find this. Young boy. Oh, here we go. Was that it? Yeah, we need that one. Kim Petras, who I talked about that. Moneybag Yo, talked about him. Ed Sheeran, yes. Bad Bunny, talked about him. Lotto, talked about her. Oh, here we go. The Weeknd. That's what I was looking for. The Weeknd. And then, was that it? Don't tell me that was it. No, we're looking for post. We need Post Malone stuff. We definitely got to talk about this because that's the. But what Post Malone just did is the biggest flex I've like the biggest flex statistically I've ever seen from an artist. All right, let me see if I can find this. Okay. All right. All right. All right. Let's get into who should we start with? Maybe we should do Post Malone. Let's just do Post Malone first. Get him out the way. Not in a bad way. Just he's already on my mind. Pause. All right. Put this down. All right. Cool. All right. Let's get into Post Malone. This is the biggest statistical flex I've ever seen from an artist. Now, if y'all don't know, RIAA certifies all tracks from gold to platinum to diamond. Gold, of course, is a certain amount of streams, right? I think what it's like 500,000. I think it's like not streams, it's like sales, right? It's 500,000. Platinum is a million, and 10 times platinum is diamond. So after you do the math, you can probably understand why this is such a flex. Because some people get streams confused with these actual sales. So when it's RIAA certified, it means somebody bought it a certain amount of times. And now Post Malone has 8 diamond tracks. To put it in perspective, one diamond track for an artist could set you up for life and your kids, right? I mean, obviously, we're talking about financially responsible people. 2 diamond tracks could set up you, your kids, and your kids' kids. You kind of see where I'm going here? A diamond track is not even feasible at a certain point in your career. Like you have to have so many outlets, so many people buying the same track over and over and over and over again to the point to get to diamond. Hopefully I get it. All right, I'm not gonna just linger on that point. So basically, Post Malone just decided to give the biggest flex out I've ever seen in my life and put all his diamond tracks in one collection, literally titled the Diamond Collection. That is pretty insane. So of course, everybody knows White Iverson. I mean, he came on the scene with it. Everybody was like, "Who is this culture vulture just taking hip hop away from its pure roots and its pure innocence that it once was in its form, and now it is being converted into a white rapper talking about him being a white version of our other iconic ball player named Allen Iverson." Obviously, it wasn't that deep, but for some people it was. So White Iverson went diamond. Then you had Congratulations featuring Quavo, which let me tell you, if I hear Congratulations at one more graduation ceremony, I'm going to lose it. I'm just going to leave it at that. Number three, I Fall Apart. I Fall Apart is a very, very depressing track. It's one of those type of tracks where you listen to it and you're like, man, I don't know if y'all watch the Boondocks, but just there's this notorious meme where it's like, what did he do to make them that mad? It's kind of similar. I'm thinking for this track, what did they do to Post Malone to make him that sad? Because there ain't no way that I'm being that depressed and putting that on a track. And so that went diamond. Then, number 4, Rockstar featuring 21 Savage. I gotta go through all these because I don't think y'all understand what diamond is. Y'all gotta look it up. The RIAA, just look up the certification, look at how many sales you need to go diamond, and you will understand why all of these need a specific review. Number 4, Rockstar featuring 21 Savage. I've seen the brokest of the broke talking about they are Rockstar, and it's all because of this track. So to that, I contribute all the fake rock stars out there to keep going on because it's now certified diamond. Number 5, Psycho featuring Ty Dolla $ign. One of my personal favorites off of this list because I think Ty Dolla $ign is one of the most talented people in the music industry, writer, singer, rapper at times, but for the most part, he's a singer. So, yeah, I think Ty Dolla $ign is one of the most talented people in the music industry, and for him and Post Malone to have a diamond track doesn't surprise me in the slightest. Number 6, Better Now. I think this is the ultimate heartbreak anthem for a guy that's trying to get over heartbreak. I know y'all may say Lucid Dreams by Juice World. I know y'all may say Marvin's Room by Drake. But honestly, Post Malone's Better Now is up there. Because it's one of those type of things where he's giving a condescending message, letting her know that even though you think you're better now, you're just saying that because I'm not around. Anyways, and then number 7, my ultimate favorite from the Diamond Collection, and you probably already guessed it, Sunflower featuring Sway Lee. Now, this is one of the best tracks I have ever heard in life. Y'all may think I'm exaggerating, and let me just tell you right now, I am not. Sunflower by Sway Lee and Post Malone is what should happen. Keyword is should happen when two notorious artists who are great at choruses get together on one track. Because it's just one big chorus from start to finish. And I just feel like Sunflower is simply one of the best tracks I've ever heard that's ever came through my ears in life. Sway Lee doesn't get enough credit for being one of the best chorus makers in music, because of course he had Unforgettable with French Montana, and let me tell you, in whatever year that was, I think 2020, 2021, to make a diamond hit, which that actually Unforgettable went diamond as well. Like Sway Lee, he's him. So to go diamond with French Montana, no disrespect to French Montana, Coke Boys, I know y'all used to do y'all stuff, but in 2020, in the modern day and age, to go diamond with French Montana, even Drake couldn't do that. Like, so Sway Lee and Post Malone having a diamond track together, not only does it not surprise me, it also, the only thing surprising about it is how good it was. Like, it's definitely, I'm gonna keep saying, one of my favorite tracks of all time. Anyways, and then number 8, we have the most recent track to go diamond, which is off of his I forget what album that was on. Was it Bill Bongs and Bentleys? I don't think it was that one. I forget what album Circles came off of. But anyways, it was off of that album. Like Circle, that doesn't help y'all at all. Hold up, let me just look this up. Let me see, Circles, Post Malone. Oh, Hollywood's Bleeding. Oh yeah, I love Hollywood's Bleeding. That was fire. That was before, like, let me look at that one, because that was like one of my favorite Post Malone albums. I know y'all may kill me, but honestly it was. So you had Hollywood's Bleeding. Cause yeah, then he came with 12 Karat Toothache, which I thought it was solid, but I don't think it was Hollywood's Bleeding. Beer Bongs and Bentleys. I mean, honestly, if Rockstar wasn't on it, it would just be, mediocre. Of course, Stoney, classic. Hollywood's Bleeding, to me, classic. What else? Something else. I think it was basically it. So yeah, that is the Diamond Collection by Post Malone. And the only reason I spent so much time on it, because to put out a whole entire collection of all the tracks that went diamond for you, that's just one of the biggest flexes I've ever seen in life. And I'm just waiting for it to be one up by the GOAT of the music industry, which we all know by now if you listen to the podcast. It's Aubrey Graham, aka Drake. Imagine if he put out his diamond collection. Now, I think he did something of the sorts where he put out like a care package, but it technically wasn't like his diamond collection. Like, he just put out care package, and I'm pretty sure all those tracks weren't certified. Like, they weren't RIAA certified diamond. So if he put out a diamond collection, it could get spooky for the industry, because that man has hits on top of hits on top of hits. So anyways, that's probably the only person I could think to compete with Post Malone at this point with Diamond Records. So maybe The Weeknd. Maybe The Weeknd. I don't know. All right, click my link tree in my bio. Let me know on one of my social medias. What do you think about Post Malone just having so many successful tracks throughout his career? And do you think he's one of the greatest artists to ever grace a mic? All right. Going on 3 o'clock. You love to see it. Let me see how many people we have. I have 23 people right now rocking with me. I appreciate you taking the time out of your morning to listen to the latest hip hop, R&B, and pop tracks that literally just dropped. Make sure to hit that follow button to be notified with the latest hip hop and gaming news. And also click my link tree in my bio if you listen to podcasts, because it'll give you a link directly to whatever platform you listen to podcasts on. So yeah, let's get into the weekend. First, I gotta change this. We got sign out. Can I sign out and still use this? Oh, I can. Cool. Let's do that. Okay. Put this here. Fantastic. Okay. Put this up there for y'all to see. All right, cool. Now, if Metro Boomin wasn't beefing with the GOAT of the music industry, then I would give him kudos on his performance during Coachella. Technically, he did bring out The Weeknd. He did bring out Future. He brought out somebody else. Was it 21 Savage? I think it was 21 Savage. Not to disrespect him, but I just forgot. But I do want to get into The Weeknd. This is strictly a Weeknd segment. And I basically just talked about Metro to throw shots at him because I'm still irate that he took Drake off of Trance. That I'm never letting that go ever in life. It just makes no sense. And when he addressed it in the interview, he said he made it even worse. He made it even worse by saying there was no room. That's like a basketball game. You have 4 players. You can have 3 6'9" people, 260. But guess what? You still taking LeBron because there's always room for the GOAT. Anyways, all right, I had to get that out there because Metro Boomin, that still upsets me to that, like, to this day. If you would have said like, oh, we couldn't get it cleared, oh, we couldn't, we couldn't, he could have said anything else, like, oh, this was a special track between those two. Like, he could have said anything. But because of that, I just know that him and Drake must have underlining beef because there's no reason to leave Drake off of Trance. All right, that's all I got. All right, so let's get into The Weeknd because that was a whole tangent, but I had to, bro. Metro, I ain't gonna lie, a producer has never made me that mad ever in life. Like, he literally came out, obviously a leak. Okay, I'm sorry. Let me get on topic. So, so The Weeknd, Double Fantasy, featuring Future. Now, I know what you're already saying. It's a hit straight off the bat. I ain't even gotta listen to it. It's just one of the best tracks I ever heard, and I haven't played it once. Well, let me tell you that I personally played the track, and let me save you some time. It is fire. You know what I mean? Hey, you thought I was about to say something else, didn't you? Now, it was straight heat. The Weeknd, Future, they never miss, like, ever. And I think at this point, the reason why we're getting AI covers of Drake and The Weeknd is because artistically and creatively, which is maybe the same thing. I don't know. I don't think a lot of people want The Weeknd making music with Drake because they feel like Drake will hold him back. And that's just what they say, the God's honest truth. And this is coming from a Drake stan. Because if you look at The Weeknd's journey between albums, there's an actual artistic image that he's going for. I mean, you look at After Hours, you look at Dawn FM, you look at his next album, which they're rumoring to be Afterlife. It's not confirmed, so I don't know. But his next album is rumored to be Afterlife, so we never know. But basically, the different sonically and engineering wise is heavily influenced by Mike Dean and Metro Boomin, of course. Also, Drake has a certain sound that he always goes with, and 40, if y'all don't know 40, he's like his right hand man when it comes to making music. Basically his engineer And I don't think people like the way that Drake kind of plays it safe on all his albums, while The Weeknd has. Listen to The Weeknd's first album, listen to The Weeknd's last album. It's a complete change of just mix and mastering. Listen to Drake's first album, listen to Drake's current album. Mix and mastering definitely changed, but it's pretty much the same. Like as far as The Weeknd vocally, then and now, then versus now, is a complete different upgrade than Drake then and now, if that makes sense. So yeah, a lot of people don't want The Weeknd to collaborate with Drake on anything because they feel like the boy is gonna hold him back, which I understand, but I think people are wrong. But I can see where they're coming from because The Weeknd is my like one of my favorite artists, especially in R&B. But yeah, so The Weeknd and Future on the same track. Yo, that's a lot. So I could see it going top 5 on Billboard. Obviously it isn't just all about sales, but when you're promoting a new TV show or whatever he's promoting called The Idol, which is like a HBO series, and you're putting this out as the promotion for it, I think that we're gonna get like a Euphoria type of feel. And a lot of people don't like Euphoria because it's technically set in high school, which I never looked at it like that. But like once you like, because me, I don't know why. Like I'm young, so it's like I don't really look at stuff like that. But I guess if you're older, you're like, bro, I'm not watching these people in high school do all these activities. But I guess The Idol may be like an older version of that to give you like what you're looking for. Now I'm not saying it's like gonna be on Euphoria level of acting. I'm just saying like as far as the drugs, the partying, um, yeah, it's kind of similar. That's all I got. That's all I got. That's the only similarities I can draw because we only seen the trailers or the teaser, so I don't really know too much of what's going on. But I knew ever since I saw The Weeknd on Uncut Gems, which I ain't gonna lie, man. Shout out, I ain't even gonna do it. The Weeknd acting on Uncut Gems. Let's just say he did a great job, and yeah, let's leave it at that. And what else? There's something else I want to get into. That was basically it. The Weeknd, Future, Double Fantasy, Mike Dean produced it. Metro, I guess Metro helped out. Man, I ain't never gonna let that go ever. Unless Metro puts out another Drake track, I'm never letting that go. Not gonna lie to you. Cause Metro and Drake beefing just makes no sense. It makes no sense. It's like it's like Drake and Kanye beefing. Like y'all know, like y'all like a perfect match for each other. But anyways, maybe I'm tripping. So anyways, click my link tree in my bio. Let me know on one of my social medias. What do you think about The Weeknd and Future's latest collab titled Double Fantasy? And will you be watching the HBO series The Idol? All right, let me see. I think we still got one more. We do got one more. Shout out to people tuning in right now. Just know that I'm getting to the end of my like music coverage. So if you missed it, just know it'll be uploaded to my podcast after the fact. So click my link tree in my bio to be updated with the latest hip hop and gaming. And it'll give you a link to whatever platform you listen to podcasts on, as well as links to my social media. You know, it's a link for everything. You know what I mean? It's clearly labeled, you know what I'm saying? And also make sure to hit that follow button on Wisdom to be notified when I go live. Also, for people over at YouTube and Kick, just know that usually when I'm covering like new music, this is usually the format. Like it's just live, but like after the fact, it's like edited on my podcast. So hopefully that makes sense. I don't know. It's less of a pause in between, but there are more ads, so it's technically it's a give and take. You know, it's, where else will you find that type of transparency? Now, I ain't gonna lie, my podcast is doing well, so it kind of makes sense to put ads on it. But hopefully, y'all be alright. Hopefully, I mean, I think it's skippable, so just press the little 15-second skip button. What else was I talking about? Oh, I gotta get into the Youngboy stuff. Okay, I'm tripping. Definitely gotta get to Youngboy, but his fan base would have killed me. Hold on, they would. It's yo. I'm telling. If Spotify had like a comment section, every comment would have been Youngboy's better on every single track review. If I didn't review this album, Like, I think his fan base literally just like, I just don't understand. Like, how do you have that much time? I don't understand. I've never seen a fan base act like that. Young Boy's fan base is really different. Like, it's pretty different. Like, I'll probably say Young Boy is up there. Young Boy fans are up there. I want to say Nicki Minaj, but I don't know, because Nicki Minaj, like they will like go to her like performances, like they will like show up and buy stuff. Like Young Boy fans, I don't even know if they're old enough to drive. I ain't even trying to be funny. All right. Anyways, okay, let's get into Young Boy. It is officially YB's better season because I'm not gonna lie, the cult fan base of Young Boy is very, very disturbing. And the only reason I use the word disturbing is because I feel like most of these people are not even old enough to drive, but they have the time to sit in comment sections of different blog media outlets and just post and comment YB's better. Just nothing else comes to mind when they're trying to find some type of way to spend their time but to comment YB's better. So guess what? We're going to talk about NBA Youngboy and they're going to comment YB's better. But guess what? You can't do it because it's a podcast. Not just playing with you. My fault. My fault. All right. Anyways, NBA YoungBoy just released the album. I know, right? NBA YoungBoy releasing the album. Now just playing. Let me chill. Titled "Don't Try This at Home." Now I know what y'all thinking. What is he possibly referring to when he says "Don't try this at home"? You never know. Maybe he took up like a skateboarding hobby like Lil Wayne. You know what I mean? Maybe he want to do a little ollies, you know what I'm saying? Be the next Tony Hawk. I think that's the person who's like notorious for skateboarding. I don't know. I'm not in that field. But yeah, so for the most part, Young Boy obviously is still on house arrest for some reason. Like I think they tried to get him off, but he's still on house arrest, so I don't even know how that process is going. But it contains a whopping 33 million songs. No, I'm just playing. It contains 33 songs, and it's features from Nicki Minaj, Mariah the Scientist, which, not to quote my man Dave Chappelle, but hey, what does Young Thug think? Like I ain't gonna cap. Let me keep my comments to myself. Anyways, all right. So I ain't trying. You know, hey, you, hey, they locked up for a reason. Now let me chill. My fault. My fault. So this project has a lot of songs on it for no reason because obviously Young Boy's gonna put out a lot of music this year. Obviously, we don't know how much because last year he put out like a record breaking or a record setting number of albums as far as like first week statistics being like, I forget what it was. It was a drop off with each and every album, but it was like solid enough to make you understand that his fan base will support no matter how many times he keeps dropping. So he just became a YouTuber and started dropping every 2 minutes. So, anyways, yeah, his second project of 2023. Think about that. Don't try this at home, which is definitely a play off of. I'm not even gonna tell you. I'm just gonna let y'all figure it out. I don't want y'all calling me the police. And the thing that jumps out to me is the Post Malone the Kid Leroy track, which we're gonna get into in its own specific segment. So I kind of want to just focus on the amount of output that NBA YoungBoy produces at and what his major label is thinking. Because if you go to his album, right? So if you go to NBA YoungBoy on whatever DSP you use, and that like Spotify, um, Apple, Amazon, whatever DSP you use. You go to the bottom, which I don't even know how y'all find y'all credits, but if you go to the bottom of Spotify, it says under the exclusive license of the Big Bad Wolf. Oh, my fault. UMG, aka Universal Music Group. So if you don't know, Universal Music Group has the biggest bag in the music industry, which is why your favorite artists are all under Universal Music Group. Because to put it under sports terms, the owner of that sports team has the most money to allocate to its players compared to the other teams in the field. So yeah, Youngboy being under Universal Music Group just means you're gonna get album titles like these. You're gonna get interviews with Youngboy and B Dot, with him just whispering, acting like he was just a abused kid. You know what I mean? And that's why he's so violent, because he was just beat up, as a little kid, instead of the actual truth. But hey, to each his own, man. We don't know what Youngboy went through. You know what I mean? Maybe he really does wants to stop the violence. You know what I mean? What y'all think? Anyways, click my link tree in my bio. Let me know on one of my social medias. What do you think about NBA YoungBoy's latest album titled "Don't Try This at Home"? And how many albums do you think YoungBoy will release this year? All right, all right. Let me see. Let me see. YoungBoy. Okay, yeah. Let's get into the specific track. What happens when the YB's Better fandom come together with the Post Malone fandom? I guess we're finally gonna figure out or even see what that's capable of, as YoungBoy has had a out of the blue, just left out of left field. I did not see this coming. Collaboration with Post Malone. I would be so interested to hear how this track came about. Hopefully, when he does his millionth call to like academics, he tells them some type of way he came up with this track with Post Malone, because I just don't see in any world Youngboy hitting up Post Malone for a feature. So I'm pretty sure Post Malone hit him up, or I do see Killer Roy's on here, so I don't want to disrespect him. I think the big names on here is Youngboy and Post Malone, but Killer Roy is also on this track, and he's a pretty solid artist himself. So I'll be interested to see how this came about. But if you don't know, this is a part of a bigger album, which is a 33 track album. Yes, you heard me correctly. It's 33 songs. And if you want to just know the runtime, hold up. This is almost like a movie. A 1 hour and 25 minutes of straight young boy music. Now, if that's not enticing to you, then I'm sorry, but you may be kicked out of the YB fandom. Because let me tell you, I've been kicked out because I can't keep up with all this. At first, it's literally like it sounds arrogant to say I get paid, but let's just say it's it's important that I keep up with music, and I still don't listen to YoungBoy music ever since was it Colors? Because he started dropping music. He started dropping albums like back like week after week after week. And I was like, bro, ain't no way you making this like yourself. Like the young boys start using AI technology before it was popular to use it. Because at this point, bro, there ain't no way that this man's actually going in the studio and creating all these tracks. Because bro, what is your life looking like to create 33 tracks for an album? Bro, I don't care if it was Drake. I literally would not care if it was Drake. 33 tracks for an album is way too much. I'm so sorry. But anyways, I don't want to upset the fandom, even though I already did. They probably telling me right now that Robbie's better and they gonna catch me outside and they gonna slide. But then they want to be adhering to the album title, which is called "Don't Try This at Home." Young boy does not want you to reciprocate the type of actions that he that he shows in real life. You know what I mean? He wants you to act like he was acting in the B dot and Elliot, B dot and Elliot. I forget the names. B dot and Elliot Wilson, I believe it. Yeah, in the Apple interview. So yeah. What else? Young Boy and Post Malone being on the same track is still crazy. Like I'm looking at it. I actually listened to the track, so I guess I could give a review kind of. Um, It definitely sounded out of left field. It didn't really sound like it matched. I would say that I'll have to listen to it again because it was a lot. It was a lot in there. I mean, whenever you have three artists trying to give a verse, it's gonna be a long track regardless. So I'm gonna say that I have to give it more time. But at first, it's seeming solid. It's not sounding like a hit, but with Youngboy and Post Malone, boy, anything's possible with their fan bases. So, anyways, click my link tree in my bio. Let me know on one of my social medias. What do you think about Youngboy and Post Malone coming together to create this track titled "What You Say"? And if you've listened to it, do you think it's fire or trash? And that is one of the long. I'm not gonna say the longest, but it's one of the longest hip hop. What am I trying to say? One of my longest new music reviews type of marathons, because it's a marathon, not a sprint. You know what I'm saying? That's not it. My fault. I wish it was a tomato button so yeah, I could like throw tomatoes. That's not going. I don't think that's gonna work. Anyways, yeah, that's my last review. Shout out to all the people that came through. As always, if you want to keep up with the latest hip hop and gaming, just know my link tree is in my bio. Make sure to hit that follow button for to be notified when I go live. And till next time, I'm out.